Today's set will be a brand new original song that I have never performed before. I haven't even reread it. I have no idea what it says, but I did write it over the course of the past few hours and tried to summarize all the themes and the names of all the speakers and what they talked about. And it's a very fun and challenging rapid writing exercise to try to cram it all in. So, Rob, I think you saw me do this at the Forest Ontario conference, or at the Ontario Biodiversity Conference as well. But back then I was doing it like a spoken word thing out of my notebook. And now I've, in the pandemic era, I've upped the technological sophistication of it. So now I can do it with beats and DJ myself and all that good stuff. All right, check it out. Forest Ontario, original rap song. All right. Forest Ontario, we're growing our future. Shout out to all my digital Zoom telecommuters. Toronto to Vancouver, we're growing our future, saving emissions by connecting all through our computers. Growing our futures means growing green, growing solutions, growing biomes, ecosystems with lower pollution. Global warming is here, it's hitting local communities. Growing our future means growing smart and growing a movement, growing sustainable forest initiatives. That's the goal. Ask Kathy Abuso, how high can our standards go? Our certification standards on the wood product purchase side. Ask Beth McNeil, we're the most third-party certified forest service on the planet.
Certified, the most in the world.
Certifications, yeah, add them up. Natural Resources Canada, it's keeping track for us. Yes, Beth McNeil, our forest business is open, and we all acknowledge that it is not only conservation focused. That's why Kathy showed us coffee cups and piles of lumber. Every one of us is a forest product user. Yeah, that's my assumption. Canadian innovation gets high scores. Ask Derek Nybor, what do you think that picture he showed us of 2x4s was for, and that toilet paper 2-ply was for? We gotta try to adapt to the pandemic with Canada paper and N95 masks, and Derek knows how to unify everyone at this forum. Just show us all a photograph of Trump, right? We gotta get the target net zero emissions by 2050. The Forest Product Association, they're all ready to hit it, and now that wildfires are here and they're threatening cities, we gotta call up SFI implementation committees. Fire smart forestry, that's a basic sustainable feature, leaving places greener than we found us, like Seamus O'Regan. The pace of climate change is egregious, but we can capture carbon in the base of each tree stem and work with Indigenous First Nations people in places where their traditional territories are unceded, and that's pretty much everywhere. But hey, we can redeem it, leave no chance for reconciliation unheeded, no patch of land unseeded. If it's barren, then seed it. Don't let anyone say that we're anything less than Rob Keeners. We got that target to put 2 billion trees in, and Rob Keen is facilitating the coalition to beat it and create places of healing in the midst of lots of areas burning. Forests of reconciliation with Larry McDermott, building ethical spaces, an original architect and interconnector of the official Canadian conservation architecture between Robert's Rules of Order and the oral tradition. I'll take the oral tradition because those stories are wicked. Larry was like, I have a paragraph long quote to read from a distinguished thinker in this space known as me.
But I think this quote wraps up the Pathways 1 process.
Larry's one of the pre-Rob Keen OGs, just like Dirk Brinkman. When it comes to trying to grow trees, they both go back to the 70s. Conservation done right, but compared to Dirk, Larry was a bit less of a Luddite.
Bear with me while I try to load in my talk.
When it comes to triggering slides, I was like, oh no, Dad. But after the awkward silence of his talk, Dirk wasn't so bad. A tree farm is not a forest or a straight row drone pad. It's a rugged landscape for a bearded man with a hodad.
This is 1973, and that stick is a hodad.
That's right, I said ho, Dad, but not in a typical rapper way. I planted with a hodad too. It gave me some back pain, so check the freestyles I've got. It's science hip hop, and if you didn't know, yes, Dirk is my pop. And 20 years ago when I started rapping, I used to summarize his talk. So let's take it back, y'all. I'll try to summarize his talk. All right. See, every one of us is an immigrant, and by working with indigenous traditions and people, we can all heal the planet's illnesses by following the Millennium Ecosystem Assessment and improving the well-being of humans with bioethics. We can tackle planetary carbon levels and solve them, and clear cuts that are visible from Whistler is a big problem, cause the international tourists on the lifts are gonna be checking up. So we did a community forest project with the check-a-muss, and the climate is changing, so now it's warmer in March, and the solution is planting a lot more California larch in the northern BC areas, which isn't the species home, but it's time to adjust a few climate seed zones. I mean, come on, time is just a relative spatial measurement, and there used to be redwoods here up in the interglacial, so let's just transform and adapt all the ecosystem services and fight back against entrenched industry conservatives. Oh damn, just like my dad predicted in this jam, it was basically the young punk roasting the old man.
I'm looking forward to the inevitable roast of the old man by the young punk.
That's how we do it up in Canada. You could think of it as intergenerational forest fire management, but for real, I know Dirk is about growing our future and growing this movement for 7th-generation solutions. And even though I don't work in forests, I work in music, I still appreciate the fact that I was practically raised by Confucius, philosopher, tree planter, bearded hippies and greens who taught their kids to just go off and follow your dreams. So watch out what you tell your kids, y'all. Be cautious, they might end up wrapping your talk up at a conference. See, it's Forest Ontario, we're growing our future. Shout out to every one of my digital Zoom telecommuters, Toronto to Vancouver. We're all growing our future. We're saving emissions by connecting through our computers. Growing our future, it means growing green, growing solutions, growing biomes, ecosystems with lower pollution. Global warming is here, it's hitting local communities, so growing our future means growing smart and growing a movement, growing our future. Growing our future.